Hi friends, in this video I want to talk about one of my favourite and best well-being tools, which is embodiment. So what is embodiment? Well, my definition of it is it's about living in our bodies. It's about getting out of our head. Most people live in their head. Most people kind of live up here. An embodiment is really anchoring the mind in the body. So we experience life with a whole body rather than just kind of as a head that's walking around. And embodiment for me is important on so many levels. The first one is that it helps me be more present. It helps me feel more grounded and present when I'm embodied, when I work on embodiment practices, and I'll talk about those in a moment. When I'm not embodied, or when I lose that, when I'm not practicing sufficiently, I tend to go whoop, right back up in my head. So it's really, really great for staying present and staying grounded. The other thing for me personally, I'm someone that's experienced some trauma in my life, some big and little t trauma, and embodiment practices have really helped me to work through that trauma. So my view is that, and I know that science is revealing this now, the trauma gets trapped in the body. And this was certainly my experience. And using embodiment practices helped me to release and work through that trauma. So rather than just kind of staying in the head, actually working through it in the body. And there's people out there that can help you with that. Somatic therapists is one that springs to mind. So I've talked about helps me feel more present and grounded. It's been a great way to work through trauma. And it also, number 3, it helps me get in touch with what is going on for me. When I lived in my head, I was never really aware of what I was feeling. And I didn't have access to the body's signals. And the body is always giving us signals, right? I'm sure you've heard of the phrase, you know, the universe will whisper to you and it will get louder and louder until you listen. Well, the more embodied I am, the more I can hear my body's whispers. And the wisdom of my body is far greater than what goes on in my ego. And so, and those of you that know my work will know that I teach a lot around boundaries. And embodiment has really helped me get in touch with what is going on for me, what am I feeling, is this okay for me? I can feel my body signals so much more through those embodiment practices. Another thing that it's helped me with is a feeling of safety, of feeling safe in myself and safe in my body. One of my teachers, Lisa Peterson, she teaches something called Somatics. She talks about when you feel safe in your body, you feel safe in the world. And that has been my experience. So that safety piece is so valuable. As a trauma survivor, for want of a better term, I remember when I was younger, and if I went into a room, I was always looking for the exit, because, which I now realize is because I felt unsafe a lot of the time, all of the time, really. So embodiment has really helped me move beyond that and to feel safe and to trust myself and to know that I can take care of myself, because when I start to listen to those signals, I can then act on them. And they become so much clearer the more embodied that we become. So what are some of these embodiment practices? Look, there are so many out there, and I'm probably not going to capture all of them, but the ones that have really helped me. So it started for me with yoga. That was my entry point into my body, because as I said, I was very much living in my head. So yoga was a great entry point for me. And then I moved into Donna Fahi's work and her type of yoga. And if you're not sure who she is, she's a New Zealand-based yoga teacher. She's known as the teacher of teachers, and she's phenomenal. I love her work, and I remember putting a message on Facebook to her once saying, thank you for giving me back my body. Her work's just incredible. And so Donna Fahi, yoga. Lisa Peterson is the Somatics teacher, and I came across her work through Donna Fahi. Lisa and Donna worked together, and I did an advanced teacher training with Donna and came across Lisa's work and was introduced to Somatics for the first time. Somatics is a beautiful practice. There's also Feldenkrais. Feldenkrais is another amazing awareness and embodiment practice. There's body-mind centering. These are the main ones that sort of jump to mind. And what I would say about these practices is they are slow and they are mindful. And for someone like me who at the time when I started all this work was very much a type A personality, was very much go, 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 did everything very quickly, rushed through life, was always busy, these practices were really hard. They were really hard and really uncomfortable, and I found it very difficult to slow down and be with myself. And that's the great thing about rushing, right? The faster we go, the less we have to feel. And look at our society. We've got people just rushing through life, not feeling, because when they slow down, their feelings come up. And I've experienced this with students. You know, I've had students say to me, oh, when I did Shavasana, I felt grief come up, so I don't want to do it, right? So we've got a large society of people, a large group of people in our society, I would say probably most, who don't want to feel their feelings. So when you do these embodiment practices, you do slow down and feelings do come up, and that's okay. And I'll probably talk more about that in another video. So it's learning to sit with discomfort. For me, it was learning to get quiet, to sit still, and it was really hard. But what happened over time, and I trusted the process over time because I knew that I would come away from these retreats or these classes and I would feel like I was in my body. I would feel like I was in my body. I could feel the ground beneath me. I felt more connected. I felt more present. And so that's why this work is such a huge part of my life. And when I don't do it, I really feel it. I really feel it. So I wanted to share that with you. And what I would encourage you to do is to look up practices in your area. Another great practice that's just jumped into my mind is the Franklin method as well. So you could look up the Franklin method, Somatics, Feldenkrais, body-mind centering. There will be others. Yoga, of course. Yoga is a great entry point, but I tend to go with the very slow, sort of mindful yoga, but they're all great. It's whatever works for you. But yeah, I would encourage you to look into those practices and really explore them and make them part of your well-being routine. Try it. Don't just try it once and go, I didn't like it. Try a few different teachers, try a few different modalities, see what clicks, and really try and make them part of your well-being practice. And I think over time you will notice the difference. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. It's been such a valuable part of my life. I hope it was helpful for you. And if you've got questions, put them in the comments box, reach out to me. I'm at clairenetley.com, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.